Hey guys, Robbie Webster here. This is my January 2011 Blu-ray and DVD update. Um, as you can see, it's a different setting than before. Things have been moved around a little bit. I haven't finished doing everything in my media room, but I have finished setting up all the DVDs and Blu-rays. I hope this angle is okay. It's a new one I'm testing out. I know the last one I did, I was really unhappy with. But I just went ahead and posted it because it was over a half an hour long and I didn't want to redo the whole thing. Also, I'm not an expert on lighting or anything, so I hope that the light doesn't look stupid. It's probably washing out my face because I'm really white. Yeah, I'm a really white guy. So let's just get started. I want to say the first three things that I got were Christmas presents for my wife, and they were three of the most awesome Christmas presents I've ever gotten. Three awesome things. She really knows me well, and she's just a really great person for buying me these, and I think you'll all agree when you see what they are. The first one of my favorite movies of all time. It's actually a trilogy. Back to the Future on Blu-ray. This is the 25th anniversary edition. I watched all three movies with my wife, and she actually really loved them. She was getting into them. When we were watching the first one, in the beginning scene when Marty got into the time machine and he was driving around trying to get away from the terrorists, she actually yelled out. What did she say? She said no. She kept saying no. She wasn't yelling it, but she was saying it. She really when she likes something, she gets into it. She kept saying no. You don't have any plutonium. And then all of a sudden he went off, and the car disappeared, and she was so upset, and we had to pause it right there, because she wanted to go get a drink, and she was like, oh, I don't know what's gonna happen. She was getting all worried and stuff, but she really liked it. She thought it was really funny. She thought it was a great movie, which it is. It's one of the best movies ever made. All three of them. I absolutely love these, and she is amazing for buying these for me. Actually, I watched this. I'll tell you about there's a lot of special features, and I've watched almost all of them. I have to watch the ones for the third movie still, but I watched all of them for the first two. I'll just open it up and show you what it looks like inside. I'm not sure if all the discs are in here. Yeah, one of the discs isn't in here right now because I was watching it. But that's what it looks like. There's digital copies for each one. It's a really cool set. I like the artwork and everything. Very well done. They put a lot of work into this set, and I'm really happy that they did that. So I'll set that aside. And on to the next one, which she also got me, as I said. And this one is the 25th anniversary of the Goonies on Blu-ray, which is another awesome movie. Absolutely phenomenal movie. Ever since I watched this, me and my friend have been making Goonies jokes at work every day. I have a dry erase board, and I drew a picture of Sloth from, I don't think it was that great of a picture. It was just a goofy thing. And there's actually a guy at our work who is rather dumb, and he's lazy, and he does a lot of, I love Sloth. I love the character Sloth, but we drew Sloth, and then we wrote Employee of the Month. We didn't write the guy's name, but basically we call this one guy Sloth every day. But anyways, I'll open this up and show you. It's got the Blu-ray inside of it, and there are a couple of booklets. There's one big one, this one right here. It basically lays out the whole movie. It's really good, really well made. There's a thing in here that shows all of the cast members, the way they look now. And then there's also, and this I haven't opened yet, but there's a Goonies board game, and I'm interested to see what this is like. So maybe I'll show that again once I open it up. I'll show it in another video. Okay, and the next thing I got, this just got me into a whole world of just things I'm just totally interested with. This is the Pacific on Blu-ray. This was created by Tom Hanks and Steven Spielberg. This is really good. It's a lot more. It seemed to be a lot more graphic than Band of Brothers, which was also created by Tom Hanks and Steven Spielberg. But I think that's probably because the war in the Pacific was a much more graphic war. It was the things that they faced against that army. those soldiers didn't surrender, and they did a lot of things that the German army wouldn't do. Um, and this is really good. I wouldn't recommend it for younger people. I definitely wouldn't recommend it for anyone under the age of 18. I mean, maybe if you're really mature, but this was great. I watched every single special feature. I really liked it. Um, it didn't. I didn't like it as much as Band of Brothers, but it was very good. And this one, I haven't shown it on a DVD update yet, but I've had it for quite a while, about 6 months, and I haven't watched it since 2003, when I rewatched it because of the Pacific, so I'm going to show it. It's the Band of Brothers Blu-ray. This was also, as I said, created by Tom Hanks and Steven Spielberg. This is one of the most amazing things that I've ever seen on television. It's unbelievable. It's just so like heart-wrenching at times, and it's about the 501st Airborne or the 506th Airborne, and they basically did a lot of amazing things. They parachuted in on D-Day into Normandy. They did Operation Market Garden. They fought in the Battle of the Bulge in Bastogne. And then they captured Hitler's Eagle's Nest. So just those group of guys did so much in World War II, and they had such an amazing story. And actually, I found out, I've been reading all these Band of Brothers books lately. I've been trying to buy all of the books that were written by the actual people. This is why it's so amazing, because they were real people, and that's what gets you. And especially in Band of Brothers, it was made in 2001. So a lot of the people that had survived the war were still alive. Unfortunately, I found out 3 weeks ago, Major Dick Winters, who was basically the leader of that battalion or whatever, he passed away 3 weeks ago, which is kind of sad. But he lived a long life, and I'm reading his book right now. But basically, I found out after I watched this that one of the people in the, I don't know what to call it because I'm not very familiar with Army terms and whatever. I think it was the platoon. We'll just say the platoon. His name was Sergeant Malarkey. He was actually talking. This was based on a book that was written in '92, I think. But when the author was researching that book, he was in. They went to Bastogne, and Malarkey was there with some other guys. And Malarkey actually told a story about 3 brothers from Tonawanda, New York, which is about 35-40 minutes away from my house. And basically the story was the story that turned into Saving Private Ryan. So Malarkey conveyed that story that he had heard to this author, and that author in turn told it to Steven Spielberg when he had the chance to meet him, and it all unraveled from there, and the movie came out of it, and that's a true story. It's a little different. They changed the names, and I think they changed the number of brothers. I think they said there was 5 brothers or something like that, but there was actually only 3. I think that's what it said. I think that's what I read. But that's pretty cool to know that, I mean, all that stuff happened. But anyways, that's it for the big sets that I have this month. I'm going to move on to the Blu-ray movies. The first one I got, I just had to get it because everyone's talking about it. A lot of people are saying it's the best film of the year. It's up for Best Picture in the Oscars. It's The Social Network, starring Jesse Eisenberg. It's the story of Facebook. I think most of you should know what this is about. I thought it was really well done. I thought the acting was really good, especially the lead actor, Jesse Eisenberg. And a lot of people are making a big deal out of Justin Timberlake's role. I think I kind of disagree with that. I don't think he was that great in it. Some of you may disagree with me, but I just felt like he's always that character in everything that he's in. Granted, he's not been in a ton of things, but he just seems to act like that. I think I'd like to see him nominated for a supporting actor role if he actually acted differently than he acts in real life. Like if he actually did something serious. I guess he played the role the way that person is. And I don't know, in real life, but I don't know, it just didn't do much for me. But I really liked Jesse Eisenberg. This was a really good movie, but I don't think it was as good as Inception. I'd love to see Inception win Best Picture, but I pretty much know it's not going to. The Academy doesn't like to give out awards like that to the top dollar-earning movies. That's why Dark Knight wasn't even nominated. That's why they switched to 10 to 10 nominees instead of 5 because they wanted to be able to include movies like The Dark Knight and Inception so that they didn't piss off too many people, but they still won't give out an award to those movies. Who knows? Maybe they will, and I'll eat my own words. I hope they will. I hope that I'm wrong, because I really loved Inception. I love this too, but I liked Inception more. I thought it was, I mean, it wasn't, this is a true story, and that's something that someone created. So that's why I think it's just a lot better. But anyway, also, if this is exactly true, like, if what they showed in this movie is what really happened, that dude, what's his name? Mark whatever, he's a dick. I hate to say it, but he's a douchebag. The next one I have to show you, this just came out a couple weeks ago. It's the 20th anniversary of Dances with Wolves. As you can see, the slipcover looks like his journal from the movie. And it's Blu-ray. This is probably Kevin Costner's best movie. It's about this man he's in the Civil War, and he wakes up. In the beginning of the movie, he wakes up in a medical tent, and the doctors were about to amputate his leg, but they left for some reason. They were going to come back and amputate it. He didn't want to amputate it. He basically was sick of everything that was going on in the war, and he was ready to die. And I guess there was this standoff between the North and the South, and they were on this battlefield, and nobody was doing anything. And he just rode a horse out onto the field, and everyone was shooting at him, and he basically got the whole thing going, and then he ended up earning some award, whatever honors and whatever, and he was able to pick whatever post that he wanted. So he chose to go out west to the frontier and to this little army base where he was the only one there, and then he ends up running into Indians and creating a relationship with them. And I mean, this is an all-time classic. If you haven't seen it, you definitely have to see it. It also stars, I'm trying to remember her name, besides Kevin Costner. What is that lady's name? Sorry, I can't remember sometimes when I'm on the spot. Mary McDonnell. And the thing, I don't know if I've seen a lot of movies with her in it. I'm sure she's been in a lot of things, but she played the president in the new version of Battlestar Galactica. I thought she did a great job in that, and she was great in this movie as well. The next one I got because I want to go see True Grit in theaters, the new one that the Coen brothers made. So before I saw it, I thought I should probably see the original. So I picked it up on Blu-ray. It's starring John Wayne, and John Wayne actually won Best Actor for this when this came out. I think it's from 1964. 1969, okay. But basically, he's this U.S. Marshal. He's got True Grit. And there's this girl, this young girl, I think she's 12 or 13, and her father goes to another town to trade some horses, I think, and he ends up getting murdered. So this little girl wants to find the guy who murdered her father, and so she goes and takes it upon herself to try to hire this marshal to go into Indian country and catch this guy. And I really, really like this. This is an old movie, but I think it's still good even by today's standards, and it looks great on Blu-ray. I'm really looking forward to seeing the newer version. I'm probably going to be taking my dad to see that for his birthday next week, so looking forward to that. The next one I got, this one I watched with my wife, and unbelievably, she had never seen it. By the way, she had never seen The Goonies or Back to the Future before until she saw them on Blu-ray. This one she hadn't seen either, which is even more amazing, because you think she would have been allowed to see this, but apparently she just didn't see it. It's Disney's Beauty and the Beast on Blu-ray, and she absolutely loved this too, and I've always loved this since I saw it as a kid. I think you all know what this is about. It's an Disney animated movie. Very good movie. All-time classic Disney. The last Blu-ray that I got is another Clint Eastwood. I've been buying a lot of Clint Eastwood lately. It's after I watched The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, and I loved it so much, I was reading up on it, and I had no idea that it was actually part of a trilogy. Even though the stories don't really flow together, it's technically the same character, and it's made by the same director. And this one is the first one in the trilogy. It's Fistful of Dollars. I had actually looked into buying the trilogy on Blu-ray, but it was going for about $30 or $40, and I didn't even know these existed, the single disc. I knew Good, the Bad, and the Ugly did, but the first two are Fistful of Dollars and A Few Dollars More. I didn't know that they existed. I don't even know if A Few Dollars More does exist. but I found this at Target. It was in the back corner of Target for some reason. They had this, and they also had a double pack of Quantum Leap Season 3 and 4 bundled together for $15. This was only either $7.50 or $8. And this is I know that this is only available at Target because it had a sticker on it that said only available at Target. So definitely go look at your local Target and check this one out. This is a great film, all-time classic, Clint Eastwood Western. Awesome. He's awesome character. One of the best characters of all time. The man with no name. That's it for the Blu-rays. Now I'm going to start the DVDs, and the first two are especially important because one of them was given to me by a YouTuber. The other one, a YouTuber requested that I review it, and I told him that I would talk about it in the DVD update. So I'll show that one first. This one is Communion, starring Christopher Walken. And the reason I got this is because I saw a video that Tom Roykoff had made. He was showing, I believe he was showing the things that he got for Christmas. And I saw this, and just the cover of it really intrigued me because it has a really creepy picture of an alien's face, and aliens have always scared me. But it just looked really interesting to me. I watched it, and I told Tom what I thought of it. I'm going to be completely honest. I'm not going to sugarcoat it just because he's my friend and it's one of his favorites. But I'm going to be honest. It was okay. It was just okay. I'd give it a 6 out of 10. Christopher Walken's acting was kind of not good, in my opinion. Some of the stuff was kind of dull, but the story, I think that I really need to read the book in order to fully understand the story, and all the experiences that he had. I think it's a really interesting topic, and a lot of the things that they showed were really, really, really interesting. And I thought the best part of the movie was in the beginning of it, when they first showed an alien. Basically, Christopher Walken hears a noise, and he's sitting up in his bedroom, and it's like in a cabin in the middle of the woods, and the door to the bedroom just starts to creak open, and the camera kind of moves around the door, like moves sideways. I don't know how to explain it. And you just see half of an alien's face in like the one eye. That scared the crap out of me, and that part of the movie was like amazing. And the rest of the movie, the aliens look a little cheesy, but it is an older film. I do think it was decent. If you're interested in aliens and abduction stories and things like that, this is one to watch. I know Tom really likes it, and a lot of you might like it too. I enjoyed watching it. Don't get me wrong. It's just, I'm not going to say it's a 9 out of 10 movie. It was okay. It was just okay. The next one I got, this was sent to me by Absolute Sublime 1. You might have seen a couple videos ago. I opened a package that he sent to me, and I haven't watched Bone Snatcher yet. But I did watch Rainmaker, starring Matt Damon and Danny DeVito. This movie was really, really good. It put me through the emotional gauntlet. Basically, Matt Damon is a young lawyer. He's just about to take his bar exam, and I think he just passes it, like somewhere early in the film. But anyways, he's representing this young man's family, who was basically screwed over by an insurance company, and he wasn't given a treatment that could save his life. And it's a really emotionally gripping film. There are several things going on, several little stories going on at the same time, the different cases that he's working on. And the way that they did this was really good. It's a Francis Ford Coppola film. It's based off of a John Grisham novel, and I thought it was really, really well done. The acting was great in it. And Matt Damon's pretty young in this. I'm not sure what year this was. 97. I'm not sure if that was. I don't know. I don't know how big he was when this came out, because I remember when I think it was Talented Mr. Ripley. That was like the one that really. I don't know if this was before or after that, but this was quite good. I really liked it. This was probably one of the best films that I watched this month, if not the best. Definitely recommend that. The next one I got is a thriller starring Jeff Bridges and Tim Robbins. It's called Arlington Road. I saw this on Blu-ray in a double pack, and I had never heard of it. And I was like, should I buy that? And I decided not to. And then I went home and I was digging through the DVDs that I got from that infamous Craig sale. You guys remember Craigslist sale that I got. I bought like a whole bag full of movies. I didn't even look at them. And I was digging through that, and this was in it. So I watched it. I liked it. It's about this guy who thinks his neighbor is a terrorist, and it's just this big crazy story, and I thought it was good. Jeff Bridges and Tim Robbins were really cool in it. I always liked Tim Robbins, and he plays a really good bad guy. He pulls off creepy really well. He's also been in some movies where he's the good guy, and he did a good job with that too, like Shawshank Redemption. But yeah, I really like this, so definitely check that out too. The next one I got, I'll tell you a little story first before I show you what it is. Back in 2004, when I was a senior in high school, one of my English elective classes was, it was called research, and you were supposed, the whole class was, it lasted 10 weeks. You had to research and then write a paper about any topic you want, and then you had to present the paper to the class. And I don't know why I chose this, because I really didn't know anything about it, but I chose to do my paper on comic books. And the reason I'm telling you that, and by the way, I'm sure that I didn't do that great of a job on it, but my teacher didn't know anything about comic books, so she gave me a 95. And that was the only grade you got for the whole class, so I got a 95 average. So that was cool. But anyways, when I went to the library to start doing research, the librarian immediately told me that there was this movie out in theaters that I need to go see. And she even like looked up the times for me, but I never got to go because I didn't have a car when I was in high school. My parents didn't want me to get my license until I graduated. But it was this movie, American Splendor, starring Paul Giamatti, and it's like the true life story of, I'm trying to remember his name, because I never read the comics. I'm sure there's some of you out there who have seen it and know what I'm talking about. Harvey Picar. It's about him. Basically, he had a friend that he was really into comics his whole life, and he had a friend who was making his own comics, like really good ones, and he decided that he wanted to make a comic about his own life, but he couldn't draw. He would just make up the stories and he would write everything, and then he would have artists draw it for him, and he was really popular, and apparently he was on David Letterman a lot, but this was really good. I recommend this. I can't remember everything about it, so I can't tell you everything about it, but definitely check this out. It was good. It's a true story, so that's cool. The next one I got, I had never seen, and I want to check it out because it's a Martin Scorsese film, and I want to see everything that he's made because he makes good movies. But starring Robert De Niro and Nick Nolte, Jessica Lange, who I really don't like, but anyways, it's Cape Fear, and this was okay. It wasn't that great. I was expecting it to be like awesome because it's Martin Scorsese, but it really wasn't that great. It was just okay. It's like a horror / thriller. Robert De Niro is an ex-con who had just released from prison, and Nick Nolte was the attorney that represented him. And Nick Nolte basically, when he was representing Robert De Niro, he kind of covered up some evidence that could have gotten De Niro off, just because he knew that the guy was a really bad guy and that he really was guilty, and so he really didn't want the guy to be found not guilty. But anyways, Robert De Niro ends up studying law in prison, and he figures out that there was this evidence, and then he wants to take revenge on Nick Nolte, and he's basically like this crazy psychotic person, and it's okay. It's a pretty good movie. It's not great. It's just okay. The next one I got, I'm not going to talk much about because I've already shown this before, but I've shown the other version. It's Payback. It's one of my favorite Mel Gibson films, and I really like Mel Gibson. I bought this because this is the standard theatrical release. The other one I had was the director's cut, and I like the theatrical release better. So I wanted to get that. Plus, it was only $2 at the flea market, so I figured why not. Now I have 2 copies of it. One's theatrical, one's director's. The next one I got, I only bought this because when I was watching the special features on Back to the Future, they brought this movie up. It's directed by Robert Zemeckis. Basically, when he was trying to get Back to the Future made, he was having trouble getting a studio to pick it up. And he decided to direct something else to try to get his name out there. And the thing he directed was Romancing the Stone. And this was actually relatively successful. And it seemed like as soon as he did this, all of a sudden everybody wanted to make Back to the Future. So he was able to make Back to the Future because of this movie. This movie is nowhere near as good as Back to the Future, but it is pretty good. It's starring Michael Douglas, Kathleen Turner, and I think Danny DeVito's in it. I can't think of anyone else, but it's basically about this author. She's a romance author. Her sister gets kidnapped, and they're demanding that she gives them this map that her sister's husband had hid. They had already murdered her sister's husband, um, and the map led to a treasure. And so she has to go to the country. I think it was in somewhere in South America. She had to go there and give the map because the husband had mailed it to her. She had to go give the map to these people to get her sister back. And when she went there, she ends up running into Michael Douglas, and they're lost in the jungle, and he helps her, and all this stuff happens. And it's like a romantic adventure movie. It was okay. I do have... This one was also one of the ones that was in that sale, so I had just never watched it. I have the sequel to this too, Jewel of the Nile. I still have to watch that. But this was okay. I liked it. The next one I got is a science fiction horror, and this was actually the first movie I watched this month, so I don't remember everything about it, but it was good. It's Event Horizon, starring Sam Neill and Lawrence Fishburne, and it's about like there's this ship. It's called the Event Horizon, and its power source is created by a black hole that they create inside of the ship, and basically some crazy stuff happens, and it's really horrific. So, stuff that happens because when they try to turn the engine on, and the whole ship ends up like killing themselves, and now these people, Lawrence Fishburne and Sam Neill, go there to try to rescue the ship. Sam Neill was the one that created the engine, I think, or whatever you want to call it. This was really good. I liked it. The next one I just got this because I remember watching the Academy Awards the year that this movie came out, and it was the year that Denzel Washington and Halle Berry won Best Actor and Actress. And I remember thinking, I don't remember what else came out that year, but I remember thinking that, I don't know, I didn't think that Denzel should have won. I love him as an actor. I just thought that he should have won for either like Glory, which I think maybe he won Best Supporting Actor for that. Yeah. Well, he should have won for like Malcolm X or John Q or something like that. But I just wasn't a big fan of Training Day. But anyways, I wanted to watch this to see Halle Berry's performance, because I didn't really think much of her. But in this movie, she was really good, and she definitely deserved Best Actress. Some of the scenes are just amazing. This is starring Halle Berry, Billy Bob Thornton, and Heath Ledger. Basically, Billy Bob Thornton's character, he's a prison guard, and his father was a prison guard, and his son became a prison guard, and that's Heath Ledger. And they worked on death row, so they were in charge of escorting the inmates to the electric chair. And Halle Berry's husband had committed some crimes, and that was played by Puff Daddy. He was really good in it. I'm P Diddy. I don't know what he's going by nowadays. He was actually really good, even though he was only in it for a few minutes. And then all the acting was good in this. And basically what happens is Heath Ledger is like a normal kid. He's not like racist or anything, but his father and his grandfather are both really racist. And he basically makes a friendship with one of these guys that's on death row with Halle Berry's husband, and he's kind of like messed up after after the guy's executed, and he ends up killing himself. And a little while later, Billy Bob Thornton, he's kind of like changing his views on things. You can tell he's starting to not be as racist as he was, I guess. And he helps out Halle Berry's character a little bit, and Halle Berry's son ends up dying, and then they end up like getting to know each other or whatever. I hope I didn't give away too much, but this movie's been out for like almost 10 years, I think. Anyways, I thought this was really good, and Halle Berry's performance was really good. The next one I really can't remember much about this, except for that I really liked the gunfight at the end. I actually liked the whole movie, but the ending is where it really paid off. This is another Kevin Costner film. It's Open Range with Robert Duvall and Annette Bening. I'm not going to say too much about it. I know that there was like a dispute over cattle, and basically some people were doing some really messed up things to this little group of people right here, and they were fighting back, and it was good. If you like westerns, you'll like this. It's like a modern Western, and it's got beautiful scenery. That's something that I love about movies. If the scenery looks good, I just that's my favorite part of No Country for Old Men. Just the scenery is my favorite part. But yeah, this was quite good. I liked it. The next one I got, I didn't even watch this month. I actually watched it online back about 4 or 5 months ago, so I don't remember everything about it, but I wanted to pick it up because I remember I liked it. It's starring Al Pacino and Russell Crowe. It's The Insider, and yeah, this was really good. I think Russell Crowe's character was working for a tobacco company, and Al Pacino was, I'm trying to think what he had something to do with some, either a magazine or some, I can't remember if it was a magazine or a newspaper or something like that. I don't know. Or maybe it was it was a television. It was something big that you know what it is. Let me try to figure out what it is, because this is killing me. Oh, it's 60 Minutes. He's a producer of 60 Minutes. And Russell Crowe's kind of informing on some of the things that's going on in the tobacco industry, and it was just really well done. A lot of drama and a lot of suspense. It's really good. The next one I got, also I watched a while back, so I don't remember everything about it, but it's Bullet, starring Steve McQueen, and all I'll say about it is I liked it. One of the best car chases I've ever seen. And Steve McQueen, I mean, he's awesome. So, anyways, guys, that's it for my January 2011 Blu-ray and DVD update. Like I said, I hope the camera angle is good. I hope the lighting is good. I hope you can hear me. I hope you like the DVDs and Blu-rays I got. Thanks for watching, guys. You are all awesome. I love you. Bye.